Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. It's quite ironic, actually, because we got a delay because of technology. And guess what we're going to be talking about today? Technology.
Yeah.
So, yes, welcome to a chat with. And today's guest is for this month is Susan Barrett from First Call. And we're going to have a good chat about IT, different types of IT, and is there too much, and lots of things to talk about. So, hello, Susan.
Hi, Gareth. Hi, Mick. Great to
I,
thank you.
Wow, what a rush! I tell you what, I guess the adrenaline going, doesn't it? You know, when you're like, oh no, that's not working. Oh, panic!
Panic is awful.
Big panic, big panic. Oh my goodness, technology is great when it works. Really is. So obviously talking about technology and IT and stuff, Susan, this is your area of expertise, as it were.
Well, some of it. I don't think there's anybody on the planet who can say that they know
No.
everything about IT, but certainly from a user's perspective in the Microsoft world, I have quite a bit of knowledge, and
Yeah,
that's my role really is to pass on that knowledge and
yeah.
just make things a bit simpler for people.
Of course. I mean, if you did know everything about IT, you'd live in Silicon Valley and earn millions every day.
That would be
Uh,
great, wouldn't it?
Pretty much you would, wouldn't you? Because it is such a huge, huge area. When you say IT, at the end of the day, it just encompasses so much. Yeah. And the thing is, there is so much out there, but the question's got to be: is there too much? You know?
Yes, I mean, there are so many people developing software, applications,
Yeah.
devices now that we all can use. And the massive part, certainly for someone running a business, is trying to work out what actually is right for them to use.
Yeah.
And that is the tricky bit.
It is, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I've been recently looking at CRMs and stuff, and again, it's just huge, huge field where there's just so many choices, so many options out there that basically yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for a particular type of system. But there we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's what certainly a big part of my service. The initial sort of discussion with people discussions I have with prospective clients is just talking through what their actual needs are,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
and not necessarily recommending anything specifically, but just getting an idea of what they're trying to achieve and what they want to use and what their knowledge is, and then thinking about what's the best route for them to go for their business and how to start. And
mm,
yeah, I think a lot of people, certainly when they start a new business, get told, oh, you must do this and you must do that and you must try that and you must use that software. And they just
yeah,
get totally bombarded and, the brain just can't cope. So
yeah.
actually, sort of knowing, well, what do I really need initially to start my business?
That is the question. I mean, we research. I mean, Mick does a lot of
yeah.
research with editing packages,
There's so much out there now.
different editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much.
Yeah. It's this usual thing when people join our club, they're saying, well, what editing software should I use or what editing app? And there's so much. It's like you said, like what do you want to get out of it really, and how much do you want to spend as well? There's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
factor as well.
Yeah,
But like you say, it's hard when you recommend just one particular software because they all kind of do the same thing, but they've got their own little sort of
yeah.
niches.
mm,
And some are designed for and some are designed
Mm,
for people who want to make it as simple as possible.
mm,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you take something like Canva, for example, which has been designed with actually to make it simple for people to quickly design a LinkedIn post, or you can, you get Coral Draw. Does that exist anymore, Coral Draw? I don't know. Anyway,
that's
um,
going a
yeah,
bit.
you can get really complex graphic design software
Mm,
that's for graphic designers. So it's really working out what works for
mm.
you,
mm.
and what's the right software. And you must find this with videos editing.
Yeah. Well, you talked about Canva there, and we recommend one of the ones we recommend to our club members is Photo. FOTOR. And the thing is, we even had a member comment that they used it and we're now going away from Canva because it does exactly the same thing and it's a lot cheaper.
That was me.
You know, was that you?
That was me,
yeah.
You're moving away from Canva,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I can't remember all the messages. This is amazing. But,
I know you recommended it, and I thought, well, I'll have a look. And I was just looking at it, going, well, it's just Canva, you know.
it,
But I
it
paid
really is.
so much less than that £10.99 a month. So yeah, I'm giving it a good go and see how I get on with it. So it's really useful having all these recommendations of what you can use, because you just don't know what's out there unless someone tells you. So yeah, no, that's a brilliant recommendation.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. It's another one that I always recommend is loads of people have Academy, not Academy, Calendly. A lot of people have Calendly, and there's a free one out there called Zcal, and that basically is exactly the same product but free. And I mean, I've got 5 different meeting links that I use in Zcal. And if I was using Calendly, God, it's all these stupid names, then I'd have to pay. You know, and it's crazy. So yeah, you look around and you work out what you need, and then you can go.
One of the big things that I do is actually counting up how much all of these different apps cost you, and whether actually to get, because obviously I'm a Microsoft IT support guru, as it were. I then say, well, look, this is how much a Microsoft Business account will cost you. Have you actually added up all that you're spending on everything else? And would actually, even though it looks, when you look at it face value, that it's so much a year for a Microsoft Business account, have you actually added up what you're spending, and would it actually be more or the same amount, and would it be simpler for you to go down that route? So I think we sort of purchase all these little applications and then don't think about actually adding it up and thinking about, well, actually, if we went another route, it might be cheaper.
Yeah. Well, I have to look for free and cheaper when it comes to lots of things, because first of all, I've been living in Yorkshire for quite a while, and look at him shaking his head. He knows it's coming.
I know it's coming.
Second of all, he's a typical Yorkshireman, and tight as they come.
Yeah. No, it's just being careful with your money.
Yeah.
Thrifty, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference. Thrifty. Yeah.
But you have to, as a business person, you have to
every penny counts.
Look at what you're spending. Yeah.
And well, one of the things that we do regularly, probably every quarter, is basically review our outgoings, because you can easily fall into paying this, that, and the other, and there are alternatives and there are better ways. But yeah, so well, especially you mentioned startups, and I think it is quite important that startup is. I don't know why it is, but with startup businesses, they kind of get led down a merry path, which is unfortunate that there are people out there who would do that to them. But at the end of the day, we it would be really nice to have an organization that startups could go to and basically say, what do I really need? It would be really quite cool.
I think there are quite a lot. I mean, certainly around my area, around Watford, there are organisations that the small businesses can go to get advice. I mean, we've got Wenter and we've got Stanta and St Albans and so on. So I think there are organisations like that. But I think certainly from an IT point of view, I think it would be good to have someone that they can turn to. So I've just recently had a new customer who got recommended to me by somebody else who had also set up a new business, and it's one of my clients. So she was able to say to her, look, before you do anything, before you set up your business and get going, talk to Susan, because I wish that I had set up get all my IT, set it up before I started my business. And so this is what she did with that recommendation. She spoke to me And then she was able to get everything sorted out before she started talking to clients. And she was really, really grateful for that advice.
Yeah, well, it's good advice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's also, you're welcome. I will drop the link in actually for both Photo and Zcal. I keep saying Zcal and it's blooming Americanisms. Sorry, do apologize. I'll drop the link in here. Yeah, Zcal, free to use, really so much easier. But yeah, I mean, that kind of support as well, that kind of assistance at the beginning will go a long way as well for you, because of the fact that people are, they kind of go, all right, well, this builds trust, doesn't it?
It does, yes. And I'm not linked to any specific organization, although obviously my knowledge is Microsoft. I don't get any commission or anything from them or anything like that, so I can be completely objective about what's best for them. And I've had a customer who at the end of the day decided to go down the Google route because we worked out that that was best for her. But so I don't push any particular product, and I just want to make sure that people are using what's right for them, really. And just on that point, Microsoft has a application called Bookings, which if you have a Microsoft business account, you have Bookings, which is part of your monthly fee. So again, Calendly or whatever you're spending your money on, that's another thing to add into the consideration, because with a Microsoft business account you get Bookings and it's exactly the same principle, and it all links obviously into your calendar, so it makes it simpler.
Yeah, we've got a comment here from Karen. Hello, Karen. Basically, are you going to bring that up, Mick? She says, I'm finding that I put off finding better solutions due to the amount of time it takes to research these things. Finding a suitable CRM is a classic example. I know exactly what you mean, Karen, because I've been trying. I'm after a system. CRMs are all about funnels and filling the pipeline and getting the sales. But then there's nothing I've found which has got something afterwards, which is like, this is how you look after your clients. This is how you basically, because we've got our membership. I want to track what our members are doing more effectively than what we've got at the moment. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Please don't inundate me with CRM invites. I don't want that. But yeah, it's difficult. And yes, you're right, Karen. It takes a long time. I think that's where, like Susan, what you do comes in quite valuable, because you kind of go, right, well, what do you want to do? And then the next step is, right, well, there's this.
Yes, exactly. It does cut out a bit of that research for the person. I can recommend.
So Karen, have a one-to-one with Susan. Connect and have a one-to-one, because basically she'll be able to help you with any questions you have like that.
Yeah, and Gareth, if you do find a CRM that does that, I would be very interested, because I'm the same. It's not so much the funnel I need, it's actually looking after my customers afterwards that I really want to concentrate on, and I haven't found anything yet that is simple to use and quick and not complex. I'm not a massive sales department, so
no, exactly. And that's the other thing. Keep it simple, and it's like it's like online account packages. If you're not an accountant, they're not that easy to run.
Now I found Free Agent, and I'd highly recommend Free Agent.
Free Agent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and let me see if I can find the web address for that.
Is it free?
Free Agent.
Well, it is if you have a NatWest account.
Okay.
Otherwise, no, it's not free.
But free. I said the magic word.
Yeah.
You admit it, free.
And I used to use Xero, and I've found it much simpler than Xero, because I just don't need all the functionality that Xero gives you for an accountant.
Yeah. It's we use QuickBooks, and it's okay, but it's only as good as how you log the data, but that's Karen says exactly that. It's something that follows through. Rule number 1: turn your phone off.
Reminders.
You just reminded me I hadn't put mine on do not disturb either.
Dear
But
me.
our
look
phone,
at
for
you.
some reason, even if it's on airplane mode or off, if you have a reminder, it turns itself on and buzzes. I thought I turned all my reminders off.
Oh, that's brilliant,
Yeah.
Tracy, that you also using it. Yeah, agree.
Tracy's using free agent. Oh, we'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
But if it's not free, then Mick won't be interested.
QuickBooks can't be cheap, I wouldn't have thought.
I'm going to make a note for you.
No, it's not expensive.
Isn't it?
It's not
Right,
expensive.
okay.
No, well, basically we get it through an accountancy firm,
Right.
through Watson Buckle, and it's £9 a month. It's not breaking the bank, but
It's a bit like what we were talking about earlier. It's like editing, like you could go somewhere as high as Premiere Pro, which is everything going, but we just want something simpler, really, don't we?
yeah, exactly, for things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, editing software, like you said earlier, Susan. You can go from zero to hero, really. Stuff like there's in fact Zero, the accountancy package, I think has been built by accountants. I know Sage is kind of, for a normal everyday normal person, is pretty much unusable.
Yeah, that's definitely for accounts departments. I personally think,
yeah, I just sit there crying, looking at all the big words and all the fancy stuff and going, I don't want to do this.
What would you recommend then, you two, for sort of simple video editing software for a basic user?
Well, again, it depends what they want to do, but we find, I mean, if it's free, you get stuff that comes with the computer, don't you? The Microsoft version. That's, again, it's quite difficult to use, but we recommend something called Movavi, which is quite intuitive, and it does lots of stuff for you as well. And you can sort of drag things in, drop, and it recommends stuff. And if you hover over it, sort of shows you what it's going to look like and things like that. That's one that we recommend. And what's really good about that as well is you get a screen recorder as well. So if you're wanting to record what you do on your screen, so for example, for yourself IT, you might be trying to describe to someone how to do things, but if you actually show them, like it'll show you going to your screen and clicking your things. It's really useful as well. So that's what we recommend there, don't we, Gareth?
Yeah, the Movavi is fairly straightforward to use. It's a lot more intuitive than a free package. I mean, you do have free packages, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the good thing about Movavi is it comes with a good screen capture software. So if you wanted to do like record a presentation or something like that, I mean, I know Karen does her coursework. She uses the Movavi and the screen capture software. And it's a one-off spend, so you buy it once and that's kind of it. You don't really need to then. Whereas Adobe is monthly, and that's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, and it's becoming more and more sophisticated. They're really good with the AI. So, for example, if I videoed myself now, I could get rid of this background. And in the olden days, I'd have to sort of draw around me frame by frame, and it'd take hours. But now you just press of a button, and it's done, and it's really like good quality as well.
Yeah, it is good quality because I actually, when I do my videos, I have my little whiteboard, and what I do is I will make faces, and it's for my thumbnail, and all the rest of it. But then what I do is I take it into Movavi and I choose and I literally remove background, and then I can put myself into my thumbnail, and then I can superimpose text onto the board. Stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot out there, and this AI thing. I mean, there's AI software for editing out there that's just, it really is, and you can change your voice. You can do so many things, and it's quite clever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's gimmicky, but
It is,
especially for business. You need to have a message. You need to have a call to action. It's just like basic stuff you need, beginning, middle, end, and a lot of people just forget that, and they press all these buttons for how it looks like AI, all these gimmicks, and forgetting like the main thing is actually the message.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That's what they say. But let's talk about IT support. Obviously, you do a bit of IT support, Susan. Well, you do a lot of IT support, and I could take myself back because I used to work in IT, and IT support people have quite the reputation for being grumpy. But obviously that's not your approach, because it's usually grumpy men, I will say. But it's
Yeah.
so.
I am quite unique in what I do, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because my background is training. So I've been training on Microsoft products for nearly 30 years. And I think that's where I come from. I come from a different direction. So it's always been for me about how do you explain how something works. And so I bring that into my IT support, and it's much more about trying to explain why something does something rather than just doing it for people. I've got a current client who originally, when she started with me, said, I don't want to know, don't tell me, just do it. And now, slowly but surely, as we have our calls and we sort out issues, I'm explaining things to her, and she goes, oh, this is quite interesting, actually. It's not as bad as I thought. And that was really lovely for me to hear that, because that's really what I want to do, is actually, there's some things obviously that you can't, people don't want to know about, and that's totally understandable when you sort of get more into the background of your Microsoft tenancy and so on. But the basic sort of everyday usage, I think it's really nice to be able to explain to people, why something is happening, and then it helps them to, move forward and maybe sort out issues for themselves in the future. And I really enjoy that, and I think that's my training background is coming into it, and that's really important to me, that people understand why something is happening.
Yeah, and I think it's probably what is it they say? Feed, teach a man to fish, and he'll eat fish. Or I don't like fish. I never liked fish. That'd be pretty rubbish for me. But you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, it's funny because we do the same with the Video Creators Club. It's about teaching people how to create their own videos. And the thing is with you, I suppose, really, in reality, the more you teach people, then the less support they need. And it makes everybody's world better. Because I remember going back, there was nothing worse than showing somebody how to do the same thing every day to the point that you were like, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, IT is not everybody's skill, and you will always get that, and that's part of the job, isn't it? And I like to think that I've got the patience, that that you just accept that. And I mean, this idea that young people all know how to use IT really, really is one thing I really am desperate to try and get rid of that myth massively, because IT is not everybody's skill.
No.
Young people can TikTok, and they can use their phones, and they can WhatsApp and that sort of stuff. But when you come to use something like video editing software or Excel or whatever in a business environment, they've not, they have no background or experience, because they don't get taught that much depth at school.
No.
And so I think it's very important that people realize that actually it doesn't matter if it's not your skill. There are people out there who can help you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, don't be frightened of it. Just find the right people who can help you. Sorry about the dog barking, if you can hear that. She's obviously somebody at the door, so she's kicking off big stuff. So but it's a funny old world at the moment, and with all this AI stuff kicking in now as well, which is making everybody's raging about AI this, AI that, and everything. And I must admit, I went on to ChatGPT and I asked it to rewrite stuff from our website, and I was quite impressed, because it made me sound intelligent. When I showed it to Mick, he went, "You didn't write that, did you?"
Yeah.
I said, well, I wrote the initial part, but then it made it cleverer. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I tried it out once, and I just put in, tell me about First Call, and it just regurgitated what was on my website.
Right.
Yeah.
I've not tried that one. I have to try that one. That's a good idea.
I was very
Yeah.
disappointed. I was expecting a brand new website copy to be right.
Yeah.
But it just
Well, one that I did was I went in and I asked it to design me a logo for a company called Clockwork Eye Video Productions, and it said I can't draw the logo for you, but I can describe it, and it literally described our logo to us.
brilliant.
So that's
I
yeah,
don't know
that was
how that
quite
helps you, but anyway.
No, I know, but I'm just waiting for the fifth. I think it won't be long before we have our first plagiarism case where it's taken something from somebody's site and then somebody's used it on theirs, because it works with images. You can't copy images and use them willy-nilly. So there must be, plagiarism laws and all the rest of it. It'd be interesting. Be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
So what's next then with you and video? What are you going to be doing with because you've been doing a bit of video content? Yeah. Club member.
Yeah, so I use videos really for my website, social media posts, as a way of just showing really my knowledge.
Yeah.
And my biggest hurdle really is time.
Yeah.
And this is why I joined the Video Creators Club, really, was to try and just give me that impetus, just to keep reminding myself that, I just need to spend, I don't know, an hour a week at least just doing something. Because I can really see the benefit of them. I can really see why I need them. They're great on my website, but I need to do more of them.
Yeah. Get on the OBS course, because if you do the OBS course, it's so easy to just produce.
Right.
Touch of a button and you can make a name bar appear, and you don't have to edit it in afterwards. Stuff like that, and you make it disappear. So get onto that.
Yeah. Okay.
And because it's there for you to teach you.
Again, that's another thing I need to put aside, sort of like an hour a week to just go through your training courses. I've made a start on them, but I need to set them up to do them regularly.
That's the good thing about them, is basically they're accessible anytime. And I mean, it might be an idea for us to introduce where we do a kind of on Zoom course, which makes people then attend. Don't know, it may be something, but we have got the courses always available. So
Well, I mean, I agree. Being a trainer, I would always advocate for actually people attending a course as opposed to doing an online course, because you book a certain time, you're blocking out that time, and you definitely attend. And you have someone to talk to, you have other delegates in the course, you have a trainer to talk to. You can see I'm a bit of an advocate of this. I think it does help people if they can actually physically attend something.
Might be an idea then, Mick. Maybe we could do a members and non-members course, maybe do it on OBS or something like that.
I mean, we do it, but the reason we do online as well is because it's cheaper then, because we do actually physically go teach people, whether it's expensive and not everyone can afford that. So that's why we sort of do the Creators Club. But we could
make it online,
like a hybrid, couldn't we? Some sort of hybrid.
We could do we could do a members and a non-members, just online Zoom course. We'll have a chat about it afterwards.
Good idea.
But for now, that's it. So it's time to basically sign off and say thank you all for watching. And if you are interested in creating videos for your business, then by all means check out the Video Creators Club, and we'll book a one-to-one with us, and we'll have a chat and see how we can help you. But for now, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And I just got to find my outro. So it's bye from me.
Bye from him. Not him.
Thanks, Gareth. Thanks, Mick.
Yeah, thanks very much.
So we need to work on our outro. We really do. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to play you out and see you there. Thank you very much, Susan, for coming on. It's been really good chat, and keep up the good work with regards to the IT and stuff. And we'll see you at the creators meeting on Wednesday.
See you at the meeting.
Cheers then. Bye-bye.